Humanity.
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 Died. I mean, I think that's the future of humanity. Humanity, you know, just...
Reach to order lunch, but humanity just isn't mature enough to control the important things.
It just doesn't make sense. They're afraid of technology because of its threat to humanity.
No video games, no tweetering, nothing electronic. It's desensitizing. Puts you out of touch with your humanity. Humanity. Humanity.
Some are calling the attack a crime against humanity.
I'll rig the Special Olympics.
Thank you. Finally, a little humanity.
We did our duty, but we lost our humanity.
You want to go find someone to restore your faith in humanity? Don't waste my time.
Have to answer that.
I volunteer at Habitat for Humanity. I was at a silent auction.
Yeah. Look, when there's not a shred of humanity left, it's pretty obvious.
You celebrate their humanity. I'd rather solve those little puzzles and save their life.
So, you know, I'm just so shocked at the lack of humanity. Yes, I'd love a cookie.
B.
B. B.
B. B.
The only B you're attracting is B-R-Y-C-E. I'm telling you, that boy is lost in Loveland.
There's a bee in her hair. See, there it goes.
There's no B. There's no B. There's no B.
It flew out the window.
Can you check his diaper?
Oh, no. Just drop Bumblebee. 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 You drop Bumblebee?
I think he might be wet.
No, Bumblebee. There you go.
Style.
That wasn't my style. That was a uniform. KFC.
My worker bee.
Pacing backwards and forwards in figure eight like a demented bee.
Good.
Well, it's bee day, right?
Yeah, about that. I have to cancel.
I do indeed. I'm tracking bee populations in the city for an NGO.
Aha.
It's a lot like the job I did in Costa Rica. We're assessing the colony's strength and numbers.
So you're counting bees?
Well, head of town, the bee pupae are emerging. See you later?
Okay.
Max found charred burlap and pine needles in Marina's lungs.
Which could be used in a bee smoker.
Well, that's just great. Why don't we just put an APB out on every bee on the island? Everything will be just fine.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. Commerce of bees is heavily monitored on the island.
You're not management. My guess is you're a drone. You're a worker bee. Top buttonholes pull wide and frayed. You're fatter than you used to be. You can't afford a new shirt. You're not even a successful worker bee. But maybe there's another reason that you can't afford a new shirt, huh? It's a...
Accomplish.
Accomplish. Accomplish. Accomplish. Accomplish.
Got it. Fly the plane. Don't be ridiculous. It has to be something she can actually accomplish. Accomplish. A girl on the Clipper Horizon made it happen. Really?
Riley's taking the bait. Callan is done in 2 hours what easily could have taken 2 years to accomplish. Infiltrate a paranoid extremist group.
Why, then you could go on with your work. Just think of all you could accomplish.
I'm not going to go. So I think that will accomplish the not going.
So I guess that means you can't go out tonight?
Women can accomplish a shocking number of things while sloughing endometrial lining.
It's forbidden from, you know.
I can absolutely tell him that we think he's too young, but I don't think it's going to do any good.
Well, then the least we can do is go search his room, and if we find any more of these, we'll confiscate them.
And that will accomplish what?
Look, I'm sorry he's dead. But I don't even know what the hell not Penny's boat means.
Calling Jack accomplishes nothing.
It would accomplish warning him.
Why are you still here? I mean, when we met, you said you would only be in Berlin for 1 week.
The job I'm on is proving harder to accomplish than I thought.
We've got time.
We are out of time. Semak must be dealt with before he learns the truth.
And the only way you can think to accomplish that is for Alex to die.
Chairman?
We tried. His assistant said he was on sabbatical, although we distinctly heard his office window open and shut.
Gentlemen, there's a task I'm trying to accomplish here, and I'm having trouble doing it.
A neophyte such as you wouldn't know these things, but I do. I have other ways to accomplish our goal.
Delicious.
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 Delicious. Delicious.
Hey, are you enjoying my mouth like a fucking popcorn?
Go on, have a taste. Delicious. Delicious. Delicious.
So, this is delicious. 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 What do you call it?
Stuffed peppers. Valentina made them.
This is delicious.
It's good.
Very, very good.
See? Delicious.
Turkey too, by the way. It's delicious. Everyone says my breast is very juicy.
Ooh, those smell delicious, babe.
There's so many delicious choices.
Okay, did you enjoy it?
It was wonderful. Delicious.
Thank you.
I have to say that he was absolutely right.
The one.
You really have drunk the Kool-Aid.
I have drunk. It's delicious.
Find the treat. So delicious, right? So delicious. Good boy. Good boy.
Amount.
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 If you take a look at that paragraph right there, I just want to add that there will be no formal retraction agreement and the amount is subject to change.
I'm curious. What is the amount? What is the amount? What is the amount? How much you guys paying? $2.5 million. Whoa.
Now, this particular account was closed some time ago, but the transactions are there. Repeated deposits in the amount of $3,500. Now, these are records from one of Mr. Florick's personal accounts, with corresponding withdrawals in the same amount of $3,500.
All the allegations, I'm going to set bail in the amount of $2,500.
Collection. Hey, easy, easy. The car's just the right amount of shitty.
Dime has agreed to extend an offer of settlement in the amount of 1.5, structured over 3 years.
All right, fresh from the bank, $1,000. That's not the right amount.
Pathetic plaintiff.
You saw the depositions?
Got them from the plaintiff's attorney. You wouldn't answer your phone. The only play I see is you attack the medical evidence and try to reduce the punitive amount.
Mr. Wagner lost my client's life savings of $98,000. Is that correct?
I'm not aware of the amount.
Well, I am.
You conspired to end this marriage for your financial gain. As a result, my client lost out on a $44 million windfall. And that is the amount you'll pay.
And the other belonging to Isabel Swift, his employee, both for exactly the same amount down to the penny.
Meaning?
They both had dinner together, split the bill in half, and then expense accounted it.
So the money, the amount you're suing him for?
It's going to rape victim advocates.
If I agreed to exclusivity, what would you offer me?
I don't know.
Can you beat that amount?
Is that what you're being paid here?
Can you beat it? If not, there's no reason to talk.
I might be able to. I'll have to talk to my partners.
Let the record show that I'm writing a check to George Alcott, great guy, sharp as a tack, in the amount of $100.
Acquaintance.
Acquaintance.
Acquaintance. Acquaintance.
Acquaintance.
Stay in touch.
I will.
Thanks.
Who's that? Just an acquaintance. Just an acquaintance. Just an acquaintance.
Sheriff Robert Brogdon. Nice to make your acquaintance. Nice to make your acquaintance. Nice to make your acquaintance.
I go to school with Lena. I'm Ethan White. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
My name is...
Nassim Vaziri. I know who you are.
And you know we have a mutual acquaintance. Oh, we did.
Are you Johnny's girlfriend?
No, we are friends. Just friendly acquaintances. Portia Nathan.
Of course.
The art world is a small world, and one of Eloise's acquaintances is clocking us right now.
Phineas T. Kettle3 Esquire, at your service. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Oh, foo! He's Bubble, I'm Clank.
You haven't signed the exit contract.
No, not yet. Why?
I called an old acquaintance in probate court about Mr. Ashbow's estate. A contending will has been discovered.
How did he get on yours?
An acquaintance of mine left Margot's diner this morning and has not been seen since.
Diana Jones. There's another lead I need you to find.
Alex Hunter. She's an old acquaintance of Neil's.
Hello, Aries. It's a 3 out of 10 day. The Moon-Uranus conjunction in the sign of Aries will allow you to see an old acquaintance in a new light.
Okay, Penny, if it were a game, here are your choices. An email from an old acquaintance or the head of one of the largest religious institutions in the world slam dunking to sweet Georgia Brown. Pick.
Motion. Motion.
Motion.
Motion.
Motion.
Hey, where's Warren? Warren's in motion. Warren's in motion. Warren's in motion. He's on the move. They got him.
Two opposite charged poles with a neutral conductor. The conductor
Perpetual motion.
is in charge of each pole.
Here I was dying inside and they were talking about perpetual motion. Perpetual motion. Perpetual motion.
No, you're not. You set this whole thing in motion, in motion, in motion. Get out of here.
We're in motion on changing the location of a rehearsal.
You met student body president. I forward the motion that we give ourselves up.
I second the motion. We can't sit here. We need stuff and...
Sit down.
See, I need somebody I can trust to go on over there and set the wheels in motion for me, right?
The challenge is to sit completely still for 15 minutes until the motion detectors automatically turn off the lights.
First, I obviously put certain wheels in motion when I removed the hang-up from his apartment.
Direct strike to the neck. The blade was then retracted with a sharp, twisting motion.
Swirl to the right, flutter the fingers in a twisting motion, and...
To rake things in a raking motion with a rake.
Oh, then, no.
I'll set the wheels in motion as soon as I arrive, and we'll stop when and if we hit a rock. But the lawyers are quite optimistic.
I'll contact you directly about setting a plan in motion.
Reasonable.
Reasonable. Reasonable. Reasonable. Reasonable.
Morgan, be reasonable, reasonable, reasonable. Every new drug has side effects.
Why are you so afraid of them? They're reasonable. They're reasonable. They're reasonable. Why don't we just suggest they stay home considering they're on their mission?
I hid the originals in a safe place. It seemed like a reasonable precaution, reasonable precaution, reasonable precaution since you murdered Martha and all.
What does that have to do with anything?
I've worked with you long enough to know you're reasonable. You can usually admit when you're wrong.
Why would we do that?
We've been going at this for 8 months.
As soon as you decide to get reasonable.
I'm the one that's unreasonable.
Honey, it would mean me going to jail for 8 months.
I think that's pretty reasonable considering you're guilty as sin.
You said that you were fine with selling the house.
There's enough on the tape to sway a jury from reasonable doubt. Counsel, that is a surprisingly reasonable and grounded theory.
Yeah.
Why wait all this time? Why not tell me then?
Because back then you wouldn't have engaged in a reasonable debate.
Never. Well, that seems like a reasonable question. Why not?
Barry, can you hear me? Barry!
There must be a perfectly reasonable explanation for why he's not answering.
To yourself right now? Oh, wait, of course you are. You love the sound of your own voice.
Because it's reasonable. One of us has to be.
Presumed dead. It's a reasonable assumption.
Barn.
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 Was talking to someone down at the farm. Said you gave a real barn burner this morning. Matt.
Yeah, that's my house. Why is it marked?
Okay, doesn't matter. Look, I'm gonna be out of the barn in an hour.
Side of the trees, I want to say on the left. But that may have been a barn. I remembered the best I could, Jen.
I told you, he shot himself. No, Corbin did. Yeah. I saw him through the barn planks.
Don't worry about this. We'll be fine. There's a barn on the other side of the woods. We'll move up there.
I don't know, man. This barn smells like horse shit.
Rick, if I wanted to ambush you, I'd do it here. You know, light the barn on fire while you slept, pick you off as you ran out the only exit.
I hate banging around my lonely old barn of a house.
What is it this time, a squirrel?
Probably a barn rat.
So I need you to come with us to our barn.
We have no idea where Joe and Angie are meeting.
There's so many places to hide. We'll start with McAllister's old barn.
Linda, you there?
So you can train, lift weights, climb that stupid barn till your heart explodes, but you'll never be as fast as I am.
That happened 100 yards from your house, and you had no idea what was going on.
I never go to the barn. I ran it out.
Here, look at this. Burglary, arson, vandalism, barn burning. Now, how is barn burning different from arson?
If only we brought a car.
No time for any of that. Where's the nearest clean water?
There's a water pipe in the barn.
Ward.
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 One.
Dance? No.
Where I'm from, they take you straight to a psych ward for that.
Scrubber fan is running. Port B bus, lowest bus at 87%.
Looking good.
Mr. Dillon, it's business hours. Shouldn't you be trawling a cancer ward looking for prospective clients?
How to Ward Off Evil Spirits, a book on urban legends. Over by the door, horseshoes. I've clocked 2 Indian wood chimes. There and there. These are things used to ward off evil spirits.
Melbourne. We're tracking them down, but until then, he's going to be a temporary ward of the state.
Commander, I worked a year in a trauma ward in Mogadishu.
Forgive me, my lord, but how? He grew up a ward of Winterfell. He fights for Robb Stark. Precisely.
As our Vic. Okay. Oh, you know, Hawaii Medical Center West is the best oncology ward on the island.
Kind of rules out other inmates.
The prison ward here is well protected.
Drift.
Drift.
Drift. Drift.
Drift. You kept the drift. You kept the drift. You kept the drift.
Yeah, I do.
Why would Lance need a bodyguard?
Had a meeting at Club Drift. Club Drift. Club Drift. He wanted backup.
Neural handshake. Initiating.
The drift. The drift. The drift. Jaeger tech. Based on DARPA jet fighter neural systems.
The drift. You saw it. Yeah. Did you?
Maybe she visits some other con. Killing 2 birds with 1 bone. Catching my drift.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, he said, you know, you could, give me a hand, with my little problem, Itchy. Get my drift?
No, I roll Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift style.
Hon, I'm starting to drift. Can we get to the point? Max and I still have to get home and bake cupcakes for tomorrow. Back off, Tokyo Drift! This is our getaway car.
If you two didn't live in this building, then we'd drift apart, and we'd only see each other on Saturdays for coffee. Well,
I have to say, a lot of guys, when they retire, they just drift, but you're really making this work.
Any thoughts you have about clouds?
They just drift away.
Should I keep going, or do you guys catch my drift? But inside, we're all the same.
Dude, that old fossil really wants to share milk and cookies with you.
You get my drift? Yeah.
Preferable.
Preferable.
Preferable. Preferable.
Preferable.
I explained how an open-handed slap was preferable to a punch, preferable to a punch, preferable to a punch.
Well, we want the truth, but that's not the, preferable truth. Preferable truth. Preferable truth.
Right, and the preferable truth is that nothing happened at all?
We should just talk to him. I'm sure you guys can work this out.
Certainly preferable to my plan. Preferable to my plan. Preferable to my plan.
I've lost my perspective.
No, I just think 8 years is preferable to life.
Yeah, I do.
80% certainty on this here. A ground assault is preferable in terms of collateral damage.
I'd have to marry into the throne somewhere.
What are you talking about?
As heir, Elsa was preferable, of course, but no one was getting anywhere with her. But you,
Hans.
you were so
Great.
You got any fresh squeezed juice?
I can check.
Orange is fine. Grapefruit's preferable.
I'll see what I can do.
Where's your bathroom?
It's right here.
Two things became clear. Hanging myself from Edinburgh's flagpole was preferable to letting that parasite plunder my talents a day longer. I must complete my sextet. I can't do it here.
Bark. Bark.
Bark. Bark. Bark.
What do you mean, my mom? Remember, dogs don't talk. They bark. They bark. They bark.
They what?
Bark. 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 Woof woof. Like that.
Woof, woof.
Why are you running away, Weinzelstein? I got you a birthday present.
That's okay. You didn't have to give me anything.
I got you some bark. 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 And you're gonna eat it.
Cool. I was gonna eat bark, bark, bark anyway.
No, you weren't.
Just a little office difficulty, sir.
Rooney, I don't have all day to bark at you, so I'm gonna make this short.
Huntington, make your dogs bark again for me, would you please? At least I'm not barking up the wrong tree.
Last I heard, that motherfucker was doing time up in Greenville.
But ain't now. He had a hard bark on him.
I need fennel root for those with fever, willow bark. Mostly I need milk of the poppy.
He speaks very highly of you.
Really?
David's all bark. A very loud bark.
But you get paroled, vet turns up murdered. You see where I'm going with this? Make your dog bark?
You told me to bring Shashi so you can hand bark.
Schatzi?
It means treasure in German.
Yeah, I want to hear Schatzi bark.
You don't need to be sorry. I owe you one. I'm starting to hear Amanda bark orders to me in my dreams.
So we're cool?
Slow motion.
Then teach me something useful. We've been here for days, and so far all you've done is bark orders.
Altogether. Altogether. Altogether.
Altogether. Altogether.
Just advocating for a temporary moratorium. I think we ought to phase out drilling altogether. Altogether. Altogether.
Are the Grays. In fact, I'm dubious about the other two altogether. Altogether. Altogether.
How many people do you employ?
2. 3 of us all together. All together. All together.
In line, move them up, that's it, steady now. All together, that's it, keep in line.
So to speak.
I mean, I wouldn't say he was right altogether.
Then he is right partly.
Altogether, I have had
5 pints of beer and 6 bottles.
and indeed might have done so altogether.
You spent 5 minutes with Wayne, and now tell me that he should be released altogether?
How's your fish?
Amazing. Would you like to try some?
Yeah, sure.
Well, the fact is you can't.
Come on, Howard, Bernadette, you're both scientists. Help me out here. What do you think? Want to jump right in the middle of another couple's argument?
No, thank you.
Sorry. Maybe we should just stop talking about this.
Maybe some of us should stop talking altogether. Maybe in a few weeks.
If he stays in the laboratory much longer, he's going to lose the ability to coexist with his own kind altogether. You know that.
Not necessarily.
Back into his body. That change in temperature should at least disrupt the growth of the pathogen, if not killing it altogether.
You're right, that sounds crazy.
Instrument.
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 Instrument. Instrument.
Oh, and incidentally, I asked for some cheese, not an instrument of biological warfare.
So there's the receiver. That's the instrument panel, the instrument panel, the instrument panel. It's got 10 luminous buttons.
Be careful, sir. The instrument that you are handling could be a threat for your health.
The wagon has all of our instruments on it, so we're very excited about it. And I want to...
I don't see any instruments.
Your powers of observation continue to serve you well.
We innovate. We create the financial instruments on which the entire continent now relies.
When His Holiness called me to be his instrument, he tested my resolve.
All it takes is a surgeon and the right instrument.
It's Ra's custom to leave behind the instrument of death as a memorial to honor the fallen.
I didn't defy death just to become an instrument of it.
We are justice.
All stations report I'm on instruments on altitude 100 feet on airspeed 99.
But every instrument scan showed the stone was solid all the way through.
Would that even work on a human being?
In theory. But it is an instrument of last resort. You must understand that there are risks.
Concerned.
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 Anything I should be concerned about? Be concerned about? Be concerned about? Now this,
Douglas Miller came to see me today. Quite concerned. Quite concerned. Quite concerned.
Radiation has no effect on us.
It's not the radiation I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about.
Oh, no. I think we're good.
Yeah. We were concerned, though. What were you guys doing in my bathroom for over an hour?
Because as far as anyone else is concerned, I was never here.
And bring them back here.
Whoa! You want us to rob the Imperial jewels?
It's just a test. The Emperor's concerned about security and wants to make sure the jewels are heist-proof.
Be careful.
Oh, yes. And I'm overwhelmed at Detective Lance's concern for our safety.
You don't have sympathy.
You don't seem overly concerned.
She confessed to being an accomplice on live television.
You know, he's going to be tickled you're this concerned with his well-being.
That is funny, and the reason for that is because as far as those guest lists are concerned, I haven't been born yet.
About the future, I don't matter. As far as history's concerned, I don't save the day or get the girl.
You agree with the rest of the team. You're concerned we're out in the open.
Maybe you should be less concerned with hats and more concerned with taking care of my son.
I was starting to grow concerned.
Feature.
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 Feature. Feature.
Movie was take an experimental HD camera and apply it to a feature film paradigm. That was unthinkable at the time.
A pretty clear shot. Creating a feature vector descriptor to run facial recognition.
Hey, I'm a good mother, but I've got to stay focused now that I have a feature career. Feature career. Feature career.
Who are all these people?
Just Sims. A necessary feature for all royal weddings. As I told you, these are matters of state.
Well, obviously, ease of use is a big feature here. We're trying to develop a simpler interface that's geared towards the real layman end user. But,
To the Alps. But we've added an extra feature, so just keep your eye on it.
Tonight, you and I go get chili cheese dogs from Gray's Papaya. We smuggle them into a double feature at the Angelica. My mother goes off to the Hamptons. Alexis will be doing her all-nighter. I will be distracting myself with a double feature of The Killer and Hard Boiled.
Wow, that is a double feature.
You like John Woo? Spoiled Brats, as in the Spoiled Brats of Snap-O-Matic. Feature article from 2 weeks ago.
Briefings. No one is giving an inch, even on background. In the meantime, I'm working on a feature about the administration's foreign policy agenda.
Render.
Render.
Render. Render.
Render.
Panel's ready to render a decision, render a decision, render a decision.
Or maybe he's scared because you threw him in a dungeon and you threatened to render him.
The Bureau doesn't render suspects.
And he has no interest in being here for any period of time, which would render employment speculative.
How could I stay away when my Secretary of State is rendered in such a way as he cannot but listen?
It's not a joke. It's the next step in a plan to transform the planet in a manner that will render your $100 million payday both trivial and meaningless.
Mr. Willoughby's material omission gives Life State the right to render this contract null and void.
Yes, Your Honor, but if a statement has been made in the press that would render one of them incapable of being fair and unbiased, well, it's like Mr. Canning said, we all want a fair jury.
As each enters the harbour, we create a barrier that no other ship will be able to pass, which would render their superior numbers irrelevant.
I'm not trying to release it. I'm trying to render it inert, Juliet. I just want to make it safe.
If you don't allow me to render it inert, all of us are gonna die.
Whereas.
Whereas. Whereas.
Whereas.
Whereas.
She gets half of everything I own. Whereas if I get killed, my kids inherit the whole shebang.
It goes on, whereas you...
Where's that what?
Wait.
All the kids are gonna meet today. They come from their mom's tummies. Whereas you come from...
The garden.
Yes.
Hardens and settles like silt. It makes your aorta stiffer than a hockey stick. Whereas olive oil caresses your insides, leaving nothing behind.
This does make you look very dignified, whereas the blue one brings out your dashing side.
Equally important.
Light has produced a magnetic North Pole.
Like a compass?
Exactly so. Whereas, Mr. Turner, had I done the same experiment using the red end of the spectrum, this needle would not have been magnetized.
Where is I? I already have
uniform. Whereas you just dabble in crazy.
Use your help.
Whereas I don't need yours.
Really?
The experience of working here, whereas your brilliance, your heart, your warmth, your humor, it just adds to it.
Certainty. Certainty. Certainty.
Certainty.
Certainty.
Blowing up Parliament's going to make this country a better place.
There's no certainty, only opportunity.
Tell her she's not fucking speaking. Okay, well, you both seem pretty certain. Well, let my certainty supersede her certainty. Certainty.
Some people will tell you with absolute certainty they know. Certainty they know. Certainty they know.
She actually walked. I don't mean just stumble walking like an infant or a toddler. She walked with absolute certainty.
Much stronger than this case.
A fucking yes or a no.
We don't deal in certainty.
Until recently, I would have said with absolute certainty that he was greater. Far greater than the sum of his parts.
Can you tell me with 100% certainty that there's no bomb in Harold Clark's trailer?
One of the few certainties in life is that persons of certainty should certainly be avoided.
There are two things I know with dead certainty. How to shoulder roll out of a human pyramid and the black arts of the butler's escape.
But these past weeks, that faith has been replaced with certainty.
His data did not show 100% certainty. Just that there was a risk, but it was a real risk.
Can you say with certainty that that's not true?
We'll go live. It's a possibility, but not a certainty. There may be another way. We've never been here.
Surplus.
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 Truth. We have a $3 billion surplus. Surplus.
Right? Can't be too many places that sell this stuff. Military surplus, fire and rescue gear.
Oh.
Not quite, but a friend at the FBI says a lot of the manufacturers are exceeding their allocations and selling the surplus off the books.
We had a big conference on the corn surplus.
You're kidding me.
You've got all the superficial trappings of a run, but there's people walking much faster than you. You're just expending a lot of surplus energy.
Well, I won't be. I'm heading out to Sam's Surplus, Highway 18 near the aqueduct.
I told you I'd take care of your problem, and I will, but it has to be done my way.
Highway 18, Sam's Surplus.
I found your boot prints. Army surplus, size 9.5.
You get the uniforms.
It's just 9. It's all we can get from the surplus.
If he's a real deal, he could be an expeditionary force, or he could be some nut job who ransacked an army surplus store.
Vital.
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 Essences could be identified. But the 13th, the vital one, could never be determined.
Leaves these archives. What if he notices the sword's absence?
It is a vital part. It is a vital part. It is a vital part of my father's strategy.
Don't push me further.
We save lives, people. We are smart, young,
Vital doctors. Vital doctors. Vital doctors.
Dude, they're not gonna keep their Uber box on their freaking couch.
How do you know?
It's a vital piece of military equipment, not your porn stash.
Your planet is just now entering its genetic age. You understand very little about something which is a vital part of our reality.
Have a word before you depart. Are you and your husband at home tomorrow? It's vital I question you about any recent travels.
You, me, and Robert. Which is why I came by. You are a vital part of Starling City's future.
Stand up. The service will be vital in the coming weeks.
Brady Sullivan, 32, stable vital signs, complains of neck and back pain.
Didn't see the forest for the trees.
You did this. You tricked him.
All I did was pass on some vital information.
An understanding. And now you and I have an understanding as well. Regina, you are vital to my plan to turn the Savior towards darkness.
Men, maybe 15 or more. They all look DOA, but we need to check vitals.
We have more incoming. You need to ration your supplies.
His vitals are 80/50. He needs a second line.
Atomic. Atomic. Atomic.
Atomic.
Atomic.
It's a magic teapot. Not an atomic bomb. Atomic bomb. Atomic bomb.
Japan has surrendered. Brought to its knees by the most terrible weapon ever devised. The atomic bomb. The atomic bomb. The atomic bomb.
Nice try. Now, Element Lab's ability is the power to transmute chemical elements. Helium has an atomic number of 2. If you multiply that by the atomic number of N, nitrogen, you get 14, which is the atomic number of...
Go again. It's not my quote. It's what Oppenheimer said after he made the atomic bomb.
Yeah, I know what it is, dude.
So we settled in for a year inside a bunker.
keeping safe from an atomic holocaust.
Do not do this to me, Maggie. You promised you'd get me to London.
What's in London?
The World Atomic Symposium, biggest gathering of death merchants on the planet.
I wish I could, but it'll put me right to sleep. Big speech tomorrow.
The World Atomic Symposium?
You've heard of it?
You'd be surprised at the things I've heard of.
Well, that's an awfully simplistic view of things.
So you're saying that 11 of our greatest atomic scientists, including Einstein, are simplistic?
No, but hear me out. The atomic bomb was the Manhattan Project. Windows 95 was originally Project Chicago.
Check it out. I used the atomic force microscope in the materials science lab and wrote our initials in a heart 1/1000th the size of a grain of sand.
Basic.
Basic. Basic. Basic.
Basic.
Soldiers of Fortune Adventure Program. We've set up a basic training camp for our clients in Romania.
It's alive? Well, in the most basic sense. A bundle of organic tissue, but right now.
That's it. Let's go. We got a job to do. Your basic human needs disgust me. Get out of here.
It's basic physics.
Acid around without any way to neutralize it. It's basic safety protocol. Let's use that.
Now, are you good enough to deserve your share of basic human happiness?
The people of the Glades have suffered too much not to have access to basic medical services.
What happened?
Just need basic information, habits, places he frequently visits, stuff like that.
You must remember things about your home world, right?
Only basic lessons a child would learn.
The name of your sword?
Stop your marriage. I was a child. A child who didn't learn the most basic lesson.
Smart and stay alive. You. Those are the basic rules of engagement.
20 years, I'll still be younger than you are now.
Well, I can't argue with basic arithmetic.
You don't find that disgusting?
Benefit.
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 Benefit. Actually, sir, he took the chair for your benefit. For your benefit.
Really?
This ought to be good.
The mere existence of the file proves that Mr. Istuk perjured himself for Jason Brodeur's benefit.
That's
benefit.
That's slander.
Really big charity gala.
See, I thought you threw it for the hundreds of people it would benefit.
Oh, yeah, hundreds of people. Plus.
Completely uncool in there.
Wait, are you mad at me? I just got my ass kicked for you.
Oh, really? Was that for me? Was that for my benefit?
Yes, it was.
I thought you said this was an electrical accident. That is what the hotel is saying. They haven't had the benefit of seeing the 9mm slugs we pulled from their heads.
Theo Weston lived a life that was of great benefit to his community and to his family.
I guess that's the benefit of aiming at yourself.
Dancho interned in Denver during the summer of 2003, but he didn't benefit from the first murder. To ignore the possibility that you were misled. If you were, who stands to benefit from that?
You're being played.
I mean, you must have known this.
God, that was too late. There was zero benefit from me coming forward.
You killed 4 billion people.
Except that wasn't for my benefit. That was for you, Flash.